Every person on Earth shares about 99.9% of their DNA. That means we're almost identical. But that last 0.1% makes all the difference. Inside that tiny percentage are secrets that defy what we think is possible. People who barely need sleep, who can't feel pain, or whose eyes can see in near darkness. These aren't superpowers from science fiction. They're real genetic mutations, proof that evolution is still quietly rewriting what it means to be human. Here are 10 incredible genetic traits that show just how extraordinary the human body can be. 1. The unbreakable bones. For most of us, a bad fall can mean a fracture. But there are people whose bones are nearly impossible to break. They carry a mutation in a gene called LRP5, which controls how bones form and absorb minerals. Doctors first noticed it during surgery. When standard bone saws couldn't cut through the tissue, their bones are up to 8 times denser than normal. In X-rays, they look almost metallic. Car accidents, sports injuries, even high-impact crashes. They walk away nearly unhurt. The trade-off? Their bones are heavy. They quite literally sink in water. And if a break ever does happen, it's difficult to repair because the density makes healing slower. 2. The pain-free mutation. Imagine living a life without pain. No headaches, no injuries that sting. That's reality for people with a mutation in the SCN9A gene. Their nerves still sense pressure and touch. But the signal for pain never reaches the brain. One woman described giving birth without realizing she was in labor. Children with the condition often have scars from injuries they never felt. It's rare. Only a few dozen families worldwide are known to have it. But this gift has a dark side. Because they can't sense danger, minor cuts can turn into infections. Many don't live long, simply because they don't know when their bodies hurt. 3. The short sleeper. Most of us drag ourselves through the morning without coffee. But a few lucky people wake up fully rested after just 4 hours of sleep. They carry a mutation in the DEC2 gene, which affects the body's circadian rhythm, the internal clock that tells us when to rest. These short sleepers reach deep restorative stages of sleep faster than average. Their brains recover quickly, so they don't need long nights. They're alert, focused, and rarely suffer from fatigue. Scientists have studied families that share this mutation. Parents, children, even grandparents who all thrive on half the usual rest. They live just as long and healthy as everyone else, only with thousands of extra waking hours across their lifetimes. 4. The sprinter gene. Speed isn't just about training. Sometimes, it's written in DNA. The ACTN3 gene controls a protein in fast-twitch muscle fibers, the kind that power sprinting and jumping. People with a special version of this gene can produce stronger, faster muscle contractions. Almost all Olympic sprinters and power athletes have it. It doesn't make them champions automatically, but it gives them an enormous advantage. Meanwhile, people without the gene often excel at endurance instead, built for marathons and long-distance effort. It's fascinating to think that one small code in our DNA can tilt the balance between explosive speed and endless stamina. 5. The high-altitude gene. High in the Himalayas, oxygen levels are half what they are at sea level. Yet the people of Tibet, Nepal, and parts of Ethiopia thrive there effortlessly. Their secret is a mutation in EPAS1, a gene that helps the body use oxygen more efficiently. For most people, thin air triggers more red blood cells, but too many can make the blood thick, leading to fatigue or clots. Tibetans, however, have adapted differently. Their bodies use oxygen so efficiently that they stay strong without overproducing blood cells. 6. The supervision mutation. The average person sees the world through 3 color receptors in the eye: red, green, and blue. But some women have a 4th receptor, granting them tetrachromacy. They can perceive up to 100 million distinct colors, compared to our 1 million. Where most people see 1 shade of blue, a tetrachromat might see 10, each slightly warmer or cooler. They often don't even realize it until colorblindness tests reveal their unique ability. To them, a sunset, a painting, or even a patch of flowers looks far more detailed. It's a reminder that the world might be more vivid than most of us will ever see. 7. The no-fat mutation. In some families, people can't gain fat no matter what they eat. It's caused by mutations in genes like AGPAT2 or BSCL2, which prevent the body from storing fat properly. At first, it sounds like the dream of every dieter. But fat isn't just storage. It cushions organs, regulates hormones, and keeps us warm. Without it, the body struggles to manage energy and temperature. People with this condition often appear muscular or lean, but suffer from liver problems and diabetes-like symptoms because their systems are overloaded with sugar. It's a fascinating and risky example of what happens when biology removes something we usually take for granted. 8. The healing mutation. Some people carry built-in resistance to one of the deadliest viruses in history. The CCR5D32 mutation blocks HIV from entering immune cells, making carriers nearly immune to infection. This rare genetic change is most common in parts of Europe, and researchers believe it may have originated during medieval plagues. People who survived those outbreaks passed down the mutation, unknowingly giving future generations protection from an entirely different disease centuries later. It's an incredible example of evolution remembering, a code written by survival itself. 9. The fearless brain. Fear keeps us alive, but one woman has lived her entire life without it. Known to scientists only as SM, she has a damaged amygdala, the brain's fear center. She's been attacked, threatened, and even cornered by snakes, and felt nothing but curiosity. Researchers once led her through a haunted house. She laughed while others screamed. But without fear, danger becomes invisible. She's been in risky situations simply because her brain never warns her. Her case helps scientists understand emotions, trauma, and even anxiety disorders, proving that fear, as uncomfortable as it is, might be one of humanity's most important survival tools. 10. The pain-to-pleasure mutation. The newest discovery on this list might be the most extraordinary. A gene called FAAA-out controls how our bodies respond to pain and stress. People with this mutation experience little to no pain, but also show unusually high happiness and calmness. One woman in Scotland with this trait once broke her arm and didn't realize until days later. Yet she described feeling generally cheerful her whole life. Doctors say she heals faster from wounds and surgeries, and her anxiety levels are almost non-existent. Researchers are studying her DNA to create future treatments for chronic pain and depression. In a way, she may hold the blueprint for a more peaceful human mind. Each of these mutations tells a story, not of superheroes, but of how endlessly adaptable our species truly is. Evolution isn't finished. It's still working, quietly, in every cell of our bodies. Which of these traits would you want to have? Let us know in the comments. You've been watching The Quiet Hour. Subscribe for more fascinating glimpses into the hidden science of being human.